Toolkit 20. Designing our ideal social space. Title of the activity: Let's design our ideal social space. Aim of the activity: to encourage creative and collaborative thinking, to design a social space that facilitates the integration and well-being of migrants and refugees in a community. To explore the characteristics that make a social space welcoming, inclusive, and adaptable to the needs of a diverse community. Activity description: this activity invites participants to work in groups to design an ideal social space that promotes interaction and integration in a multicultural context. Using drawing and design materials, participants will create a prototype of the space, considering factors such as accessibility, functionality, cultural diversity, and sustainability. At the end of the activity, each group will present their proposal and reflect on how their design responds to the needs of an integrated community. Materials needed: large poster board or drawing paper, markers, colored pencils and pens, magazine clippings for collage, optional, post-its or sticky notes, adhesive tape, materials for making models, clay, recycled paper, small figures, etc., optional. Flip chart or flip chart for taking notes during presentations. Duration of the activity: 90 minutes. Group size: 15 to 25 people, divided into groups of 3 to 5 participants. Step-by-step instructions. Introduction: 10 minutes. Explain the concept of a social space and its importance in the integration of migrants and refugees into a community. Briefly discuss some examples of successful social spaces, such as the Kubi House of Culture in Denmark or the reconstructed village in Nigeria. Explain that the aim of the activity is to design a social space that reflects the values of integration, inclusion, and respect for diversity. Group formation and role assignment: 5 minutes. Divide participants into groups of 3 to 5 people. Assign roles within each group, e.g., coordinator, draftsperson, spokesperson, etc., to facilitate the design process and the final presentation. Brainstorming: what does a social space need? 10 minutes. Each group spends a few minutes discussing the needs and elements that their ideal social space should have. Encourage groups to think about issues such as accessibility, cultural diversity, functionality, sustainability, and safety. Participants can write their ideas on post-its and stick them on a poster board to better visualize the elements they want to include in the space. Space design: 30 minutes. Provide each group with large paper or poster board to draw a plan of their ideal social space. They can also create a simple model if materials are available. The design should include different zones or areas, for example, rest and socializing areas, spaces for recreational or sporting activities, rooms for workshops, classes, and cultural events, spaces for health services, legal counseling, and psychological support. Cultural elements, murals, symbols, etc., representing the diversity of the community. Groups should think about how to make the space welcoming and accessible to people of all ages and abilities. Preparation of the presentation: 10 minutes. Each group prepares a short presentation on their design. They should explain the main areas of their space, its purpose, and how they have considered aspects of accessibility, safety, sustainability, and cultural diversity. They can use sticky notes to point out the main areas in their design and list the key features they have included. Presentation of the designs: 20 minutes. Each group presents their design to the rest of the participants, explaining their decisions and how their social space helps the integration and well-being of the community. The other groups can ask questions or comment on the design, encouraging constructive discussion. Reflection and discussion: 5 minutes. Facilitate a group discussion on the common elements between the different designs and the challenges the groups encountered during the design process. Reflect on questions such as: what elements do you think are the most important in an inclusive social space? How could these ideas be implemented in today's community? What have you learned about the needs of migrants and refugees in social spaces? Reflection and closure. To close the activity, reflect on the importance of creating social spaces that promote inclusion and integration. Ask participants: what emotions did the creation of your social space generate for you? What do you think makes a space truly welcoming? How do you think the design of a space can influence coexistence and integration between different cultures? Evaluation method. Impact and applicability assessment. Ask each participant to complete a short evaluation survey after the activity, reflecting on what they learned and how they might apply the concepts discussed in their community. Survey questions. How did your understanding of the importance of social spaces in integration change? What specific ideas or elements would you like to see implemented in your community? Do you feel that you now have a greater understanding of the needs of migrants and refugees? Activity variants. Visit to an existing social space. If possible, organize a visit to a community center or social space in the community so that participants can observe and analyze its characteristics before designing their own space. Invitation of a specialist. Invite an architect, urban planner, or social worker to talk about designing inclusive spaces and provide feedback on the group's designs. Virtual design. For groups working remotely, they can use online design tools such as Canva, Google Drawings, or Miro to create the blueprint for their social space. Tips for the facilitator. Make sure that all participants understand the importance of each element they are incorporating into their designs. Encourage groups to include specific elements for cultural diversity in their design, such as murals, multilingual spaces, or recreational activities representative of different cultures. Motivate participants to think about accessibility for people with disabilities and the long-term sustainability of the space. Additional notes. This design exercise can be adapted for different contexts and ages. It can also be adjusted to be done in digital format for online workshops. This activity not only helps participants to better understand the needs of migrants, but also gives them tools to think about creating inclusive and welcoming environments in their own communities. Chapter 3. Financing and Resources. For any social space creation project to be successful and have a lasting impact over time, and to be able to develop and sustain itself over the years, it is crucial to identify the funding sources and resources to make it happen. Funding can come from a variety of sources, such as public grants, private donations, community fundraising, and partnerships with local businesses or non-profit organizations. Resources can include volunteers, materials, and the expertise of community members. Securing these funds and resources is important because it allows for the creation of vibrant and welcoming spaces that support community activities and services. Without adequate funding, these projects may struggle to get off the ground or may not be sustainable, limiting their potential impact. Effective funding ensures that social spaces can continuously provide programs and facilities that foster integration and community cohesion, ultimately making the area more inclusive and supportive for all, especially long-term migrants. These funds can come from a variety of sources. National and local governments often provide funding for initiatives that support refugee integration and social cohesion. Such funds may be available through specific programs aimed at supporting displaced communities or for community infrastructure development. National grants are available for centrally funded programs for refugee support, community development, and social services. Local or regional governments may also offer grants that may be earmarked for community and integration projects. Numerous international and non-governmental organizations offer grants and financial assistance for projects that support refugees. These organizations may provide funds directly or assist in fundraising. Agencies such as the United Nations, High Commissioner for Refugees, UNHCR, and the International Organization for Migration, IOM, offer financial support and resources. Organizations such as the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, the Ford Foundation, and other private foundations have funding programs for refugee integration and community development. Private foundations and corporate companies often have corporate social responsibility, CSR programs that support integration initiatives. These foundations may provide direct grants or sponsorship for events and programs. Many foundations establish specific funds for projects that benefit vulnerable communities. Companies may offer financial support through donations, sponsorships, or event collaborations. Another effective way to raise funds is crowdfunding, which involves raising funds through small donations from a large number of people. Crowdfunding campaigns can be promoted through online platforms and social media to attract individual donations. Websites such as GoFundMe, Kickstarter, and Indiegogo make it possible to launch campaigns to raise money for specific projects. Fundraising through crowdfunding and community efforts has become a powerful tool to finance social projects, especially when it comes to initiatives aimed at supporting refugee communities. These strategies make it possible to engage a wide range of donors and build a sense of community and ownership around the project. Soliciting direct donations from individuals through awareness-raising campaigns and community events can also work, or social media outreach with a call to action. There are also additional resources that can help to set up and maintain these social spaces. For example, volunteer human resources can be a key pillar in the operation and maintenance of the social space. Local volunteers can offer their time and skills in areas such as managing the space, organizing events, and providing direct services to refugees. Community events are also an excellent way to raise funds and encourage local engagement. Fairs and markets, where handicrafts, food and drink can be sold. Cultural events of various kinds, such as concerts, shows and exhibitions that celebrate the culture of the refugee and local community. Sporting events can also be organized where participants raise funds through registrations and sponsorships, or organize auctions or raffles with items donated by the community. Such events can generate interest and excitement, and the products offered can range from local services to valuables. In-kind donations, such as furniture, office equipment, and educational materials, can go a long way in equipping the social space. These donations can come from local businesses, shops, and individuals. In addition, donations of furniture, equipment, and supplies needed to run the space can be solicited from local businesses willing to collaborate and propel community values. Establishing partnerships with local organizations, educational institutions, and businesses can provide additional resources and logistical support. Sponsorships for specific events and activities can cover costs and increase project visibility. Specialized organizations can offer technical support and advice in areas such as project management, strategic planning, and program implementation. This support can be crucial to ensure the effectiveness and sustainability of the social space. Identifying sources of funding and resources for social space for refugee communities should be a comprehensive process. By combining government funds, support from international agencies, private and community contributions, and in-kind resources, the viability and success of the project can be ensured. In addition, building partnerships and mobilizing volunteers can strengthen the capacity of the space to meet the needs of refugees and foster integration into the local community. Careful planning and proactive resourcing are essential to building and maintaining a welcoming and inclusive environment. Partnership and collaboration with other organizations, a comprehensive approach to success. Establishing partnerships and collaborations with other organizations can greatly assist in the development and sustainability of projects aimed at supporting refugee communities. Effective collaboration maximizes impact and efficiency by combining resources and expertise from a variety of entities. To establish and manage these partnerships successfully, it is important to identify organizations with aligned goals and values, establish clear and frequent channels of communication, and define roles and responsibilities from the outset. In addition, transparency and mutual trust are essential to maintaining strong and productive relationships. By working together, organizations can access a greater pool of financial, technical, and human resources, which facilitates the implementation of more comprehensive and effective solutions to the needs of refugee communities. It is also beneficial to share experiences and lessons learned, which can lead to innovations and continuous improvements in projects. Effective collaboration not only maximizes project impact and efficiency, but also facilitates access to valuable resources and knowledge. Below, we explore in detail how to establish and manage these partnerships successfully. Before seeking partners, it is crucial to have a clear understanding of the needs of the project. This involves a thorough analysis of specific requirements, such as funding, human resources, training, medical services, and psychological support. With this information, organizations that have the capacity to contribute to meeting these needs can be identified. In this context, it is important to thoroughly research potential organizations. This includes local and international NGOs, working with refugees, or in the field of community development, foundations and philanthropic entities that fund social integration and humanitarian aid projects, academic and training institutions that can offer educational resources, and corporate companies that could provide support through their corporate social responsibility programs. Partner selection should be based on alignment of objectives, ability to provide valuable resources, experience in the field, and the reputation of the organization. Compatibility, in terms of values and objectives, is crucial for effective and lasting collaboration. Developing a clear and well-structured collaboration proposal is the best way to attract potential partners. The proposal should detail the objectives of the project, the specific needs, and the mutual benefits of the collaboration. It is essential that the proposal includes clear and achievable objectives, a detailed description of the roles and responsibilities of each partner, and a breakdown of the resources and commitments necessary for the success of the partnership. Once the proposal has been defined, it is important to formalize the collaboration through written agreements or memoranda of understanding. These documents should set out the terms and conditions of the partnership, covering key aspects such as the duration of the collaboration, financial management, intellectual property, and conflict resolution. Formalizing the collaboration ensures that all parties are aligned in terms of expectations and responsibilities. Coordination and communication are essential elements of successful collaboration. Establishing clear and effective communication mechanisms helps to keep all parties informed and engaged. This can include organizing regular meetings, providing progress reports, and using dedicated communication channels. Constant and transparent communication is crucial to address issues in a timely manner and to ensure that all aspects of the collaboration are managed effectively. This includes the exchange of good practices, the provision of training and capacity building, and access to relevant networks and contacts. Collaboration on the implementation of specific projects allows organizations to draw on combined expertise and resources, from organizing community events to managing support services for refugees. Cooperation with other organizations offers multiple benefits that are critical to the success and sustainability of the project. First, it provides access to additional resources, such as funding, expertise, materials, and services. These resources can expand the project's capacity to meet the needs of the refugee community more effectively. Second, collaboration strengthens the organizational and operational capacity of all parties involved. Working with other organizations allows for the sharing of knowledge and skills, which improves competence and efficiency in project management. This capacity building also contributes to greater long-term sustainability. Working together with others in the same direction also broadens the reach and impact of the project. By leveraging the networks and contacts of partners, a wider audience can be reached and a greater effect on the community can be generated. This increased reach can also attract more donors and resources, which contributes to the continued viability of the project. In addition, collaboration fosters long-term sustainability by diversifying sources of support and resources. Working with multiple organizations helps reduce dependence on a single source of funding and ensures greater project stability and continuity. Several examples of effective partnership can be found in this field. An outstanding example of successful interagency collaboration for the creation of social space for long-term migrants is the Refugee Housing Solutions project in Germany. This project brings together non-governmental organizations, private companies, and local authorities to provide adequate and accessible housing for refugees. The initiative has been successful in establishing integrated communities where migrants can access education, health, and employment services. Private companies contribute resources and expertise, while NGOs provide social support and integration programs. Local authorities facilitate coordination and ensure that infrastructure is adapted to the specific needs of refugees. Another notable case is the Integration Hub in Sweden, a collaboration between the Swedish government, the private sector, and various community organizations. This center provides a safe place where refugees can access language classes, job training, and legal assistance. The active involvement of the private sector has been crucial in providing employment opportunities and work placements, while community organizations ensure the accompaniment necessary for successful integration. The Swedish government, for its part, has provided funding and facilitated the implementation of inclusive policies. In Spain, the Barcelona City of Refuge project is another significant example. This initiative is a collaboration between Barcelona City Council, several NGOs, and migrant collectives. It aims to create spaces of welcome and support for refugees, providing access to resources such as legal advice, psychological support, and cultural activities. The City Council is responsible for the management and coordination of the project. The NGOs provide their expertise in assisting migrants, and the refugee groups help to define the needs and priorities of the beneficiary community. These examples show how collaboration between diverse entities can create social spaces that not only meet the basic needs of long-term migrants and refugees, but also promote their integration and well-being in new communities.